All right. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So good to have you here. I'm really excited about today's breathwork workshop. We are celebrating a couple of things today. So we're celebrating the new Relationship Rising community. It's a women's group that I am creating resources to help the women that I work with, and also people that I haven't worked with yet. So I'm really imagining filling it up with a lot of resources that I can point women to when we're working on certain challenges and whatnot. And to really focus on improving the relationship with themselves and also with others through healing different patterns of self-sabotage, like people pleasing and perfectionism and negative self-talk. Those are all ways that we sabotage. So that's really the intention of the community. If you're not familiar, if you haven't heard about the community, I have been sending emails, so look for those to find the link to join. And then we're also celebrating that my business was recently voted #1 coaching service in the Best of Mile High awards. So I want to thank all of my clients and everyone who voted for me and my business that you really made this happen and made it possible. And I really see this as not only a win for myself, but for the community, for my clients. And it's a testament of how powerful the work we are doing really is. So very, very excited about that. So for today, I want to just start by saying we're creating a really safe and sacred space. This will be likely for all the workshops going forward, that I will be recording these. I plan to post the replays in the community, but I won't be sharing any video or audio of participants. It's really just for you to go back to if you want to redo the workshop, or for others who couldn't be live. But again, I won't be sharing any of your video or audio. And also, I want to just ask that you don't share what anybody else says with anybody outside of this circle here today. So a few things before we begin. We are going to be using a Spotify and a YouTube playlist. I made it both ways just in case you didn't have Spotify. You could go on YouTube, but I know YouTube might, play some ads, so that might be distracting. If that happened, you could always skip it, during the breath work. So those links I will share in the chat. And then make sure you have a comfortable spot ready. So that could be you want to lay down on the floor, maybe on the couch, on a bed, wherever is comfortable. Or if it's hard for you to lay on your back, or even in breath work, you can kind of move around and lay on your side. But if it's hard to lay down, you could always just have a pillow propping you up that you can really rest your body on. You don't want to be seated for this. You really want to be rested and kind of reclined. You might want a journal, you might want a blanket, some water nearby, anything that is comforting for you. And then I have a 30-minute breath work for us to do today. So the intention of today is to really connect with your inner child in order to rekindle your true essence so that you can feel more present, more joyful, more authentic in your self-expression. Our inner child is really the part of us that is like our true essence. I see the inner child as who we were born into this world as. And so this is it represents our like most authentic self. It's our creativity, our joyfulness, all of those things, like our innocence, our sweetness, our sensitivities, all of those are represented in our inner child. And this part can also hold beliefs that aren't true and that can really impact our lives negatively. And so by connecting with and nurturing our inner child, we can really release past pains, and we can bring our true essence into the present moment. It's kind of like the inner child is bringing our past into the present. We want to let that child know, hey, it's okay. We're okay here and now, in order to really enhance our lives and our well-being. So you can think of this just like the ember of a flame, of a fire that has gone out, and that the logs are burnt, the fuel is gone, but there's still some embers there. And just like feeding a fire, we can breathe new life into our inner child with kindness, with listening, with reflecting, just like you would with a little child. So thinking about this part of us, it's easy to sort of judge the inner child or say, just stop feeling, XYZ. But we really want to talk to this part of us as if it was a little child. It's a part of us that is really sensitive, and it does need some caretaking and nurturing. So when the inner child is wounded, it can look like feelings of not good enough, defensive behaviors, black and white thinking, like it's all good or it's all bad, lack of boundaries. So those are some ways that the inner child shows up if it's wounded. And what happens is the inner child wants to merge with us of today to feel safe. And today, our work is to really help the inner child feel safe enough to unmerge. We want to see the inner child as a part of us, but not all of us. And when the inner child does feel nurtured and safe, it can look like there's more play in your life, speaking up for yourself, authentic self-expression, having more self-compassion, healthy boundaries, and confidence. Those are all things that can come from allowing this part of us to feel safer. Use the breath to help release anything that wants to be released. Breath work is a great practice to just release stuck emotions, stuck energy, difficult thoughts, like any repeating patterns. It's a great practice to just drop into our body and release whatever wants to be released. And you can really trust your body and trust the process to give you whatever you need today. And through this practice, rekindle that childlike joy and spontaneity through connecting with your inner child. So there's 3 key ideas that I want you to keep in mind about the inner child. The inner child. So the first one is the inner child is our true essence. It's who we were born into this life as. It's innocent, it's curious. There's a desire for love and connection, presence and authenticity. So just really keeping that in mind, that that is your true like sweetness and vulnerability and sensitivity. And it has all of these things that it can bring to our life. And the key idea to number 2 is that difficult things happen in life. Difficult things happen in childhood. And as children, we make it mean there's something wrong with us. Because if there's something wrong with others that we depend on for our life, there's something wrong with us. It's too scary. But if it's something wrong with me, then I can do something about it. That feels more empowering. So kids internalize what they see externally as it's about them or it's something wrong with them. So these are, and then from that, we learn strategies like self-sabotage, like perfectionism, judgment of ourselves, judgment of others, people pleasing. These are all patterns to protect ourselves. But what happens in adulthood is that these patterns end up really sabotaging our life. They don't work anymore. And they're really hard to change. It's like almost this compulsion. I know these things really intimately, how much we just go into these patterns. So kind of keeping in mind that the first one is this inner child is really your true essence. The second one is difficult life things happen and the inner child believes that it's something wrong with them. And then the third point is that healing looks like giving our inner child what she needed growing up to help her feel safe and loved in the present moment. Like, hey, we're not back there when things are scary and confusing. We're here now as an adult, and things are okay, and I'm taking care of you. So really sort of letting her know, letting the inner child know that it is safe here and now, and to help her rewrite the false beliefs and the stories that she's made up about herself. And this is really called reparenting. So with this reparenting, there's nobody better to do this work than you, because she is you many, many years ago, and you know what she needed then to feel safe and loved. So those are the 3 points I want you to keep in mind. And I want to note that a lot of us have really painful memories from childhood. And we also have really happy memories from childhood. So if you find any part of this process challenging, please be really gentle with yourself. You may need to move around during this practice. You may want to cry. You may need to stop the breath altogether. You are always in control of this process. So really do what you need and really follow what your inner guidance is. If you need to take a break, take a break. We don't want it with breath work, and we're doing a much gentler practice today. If you've done breath work with me before, we're doing a little bit of a different breath, so it's more gentle, but we don't want to loop in any pain. We want to feel it and release it. So looping in the pain can be like, oh, it's overwhelming and it's too much for my system, and this big, huge cathartic release. That's overwhelming the system. We don't want to do that. So back off, take care of yourself. But tears are welcome, laughter, joy, feeling all the feelings. Thoughts may come and go. That's okay. Try to just stay present with your body, and I'll be guiding you through this sort of like a visualization. So yeah, just number 1, take care of whatever you need today. So I have a really fun synchronicity that happened with the playlist today. So I made the playlist yesterday and I was listening to it today, and there's one song that has some, I think it's Portuguese, and I was like, let me look what that is, because if it's something totally out there, I probably need to change the song. And so I look up the word. The name of the song is, I think it's pronounced Criançada, Criançada. And I look up the meaning of the word, and it means group of children. So then another link, it says the actual song by Nicola Cruz, who the song is by. And I think maybe the Portuguese is another artist that joined in. But let me just read this. It gives me chills. So it says, the song Serransada by Nicola Cruz portrays the innocence and purity of love as seen through the eyes of a child. The repetition of the phrase, and I'm not going to read the phrase, but it's in the song, emphasizes the unwavering faithfulness, generosity, and impetuosity that characterize a child's love. It delves into the idea that a child's love, uninhibited by the complexity of adulthood, is a source of truth and authenticity. The role of the mother is central in nurturing and guiding this powerful love, teaching the child the boundaries of power and the importance of freedom. Through exploring the contrast between the child's perspective on love and adult relationships, the song celebrates the profound depth and sincerity of a child's love, showcasing it as a beacon of truth in a world of complexity. So that was so cool to stumble upon that and how aligned it is with what we're doing today. And even that line about the mother being the central in nurturing and guiding the child. Now you are the parent. Now you are the mother, nurturing and guiding this part of you. So that song is going to have such a new meaning for me. I love that. All right. So there are many ways to do inner child work. And today I'm going to guide you into a breath work specifically to connect with your inner child. So our past wounds and inner child lives in our body somatically. So it's like a felt sense. And when we are triggered, our nervous system goes into fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And so that's like sort of the wound. And when we are in our truth, we are coming from our higher brain and more of the present moment. So these are sort of different states of our nervous system. And breath work can really help you release the emotional charge that the inner child holds and to bring more of that safety to your nervous system. So that's sort of what we're doing with this practice. And so the actual practice it's a little bit different than I do when I'm one-on-one with clients, but I want to mention that breathwork is safe, it's natural, it's not always recommended for people with health conditions. So if you have any health conditions that you're concerned about or you're pregnant, it's probably best to simply just breathe normally during this guided practice and just follow my voice throughout. If you want to do some of the rhythmic breathing and just feel it out, do what feels safe for you. And the breath, we want to use the breath to drop us into the present moment. So that's how we find safety in our body, is to be present. So we're using this rhythmic breath, really feeling our body, really being present here. If the mind wanders, kind of bringing it back to the breath and body. And the actual breath practice is an in through the nose, out through the mouth. We want to sort of pierce our lips a little bit to have the breath come out slowly. So it's and we're going to do the same length inhale as exhale. We're going to not have much of a pause between the in and out breath. And you want to fill up your belly, fill up your chest, and then exhale with ease. So you don't need to force it, but just sort of letting that exhale come out easily. I'm going to do sort of in the beginning a count of 6 to get us all going. And I want you to play with that. So we want it to be a long, full breath, a long exhale, but having it the same in and out breath. It might feel better for you to do maybe a 4-count breath or an 8-count breath. So play around after I kind of get us going, play around with that. So I'm going to just demonstrate now what that's going to sound like. So we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know it's really helpful for me to sort of have that rhythm to kind of get into it. You can also use the rhythm of the music. So if you're musical or you like to dance, I can kind of get into where I don't have to count, but I can go along with the beat of the music. So play around with those and see, do I need a shorter breath or a longer breath? That's the breath practice. So sometimes I do in and out through the mouth. That's a little bit more of an activating breath. So today we're going to do a little more of a gentle style. So there's a thing called tetany. that might happen, and it's a tingling of the hands, the face, the feet, the extremities can kind of feel tingly, almost like pins and needles. And I just want to say that this is normal. It's safe to feel this. It can happen for a couple of reasons. One, we're forcing the exhale, so it might sound like, well, in through the nose, and then a kind of, that gets our oxygen levels off and creates these cramps and tingling in our extremities. The other reason we might feel this is almost like a constriction of feeling or holding in. Is there something that you're holding on to that you're not quite ready to release? Or maybe there's an emotion bubbling up that hasn't quite released. If you're feeling the sensations, I invite you to just bring curiosity. Wow, my body's doing this. Oh yeah, I feel lots of tingles. Okay, it's kind of uncomfortable. And just see if you can work with it and kind of get to a place of release. Often when it happens and you stick with it and you kind of stay with that breath, it will dissipate on its own after some sort of release. It might be heat, it might be cold, it might be emotion. You might have an aha thought in your mind. These things can help it release. And again, we're doing more of a gentle practice, so it might not happen at all. And you can trust the wisdom of your body. Your body knows exactly what you need today. If that's really slow breath, if that's a faster breath, if you need to move around, if you need to make sounds. I often swing, kind of laying on my back, swing myself back and forth to get into a rhythm and really stay grounded. Sometimes I'm really calm. Sometimes I'm making sounds on the exhale. So all of these things are welcome. And it's really about tuning into what you need today. Okay, great. So I am going to share the playlist for anybody who needs that. And then we are going to, on the count of 3, we are going to press play on our to 3. We're going to press play. 1, 2, 3. And then you might need to adjust the volume. So on the Spotify or on the, I'm not sure if you can adjust it on YouTube, but adjusting the volume so you can hear the music, but then also hear my voice okay. And this song is probably going to start out pretty quiet, but just getting a sense if this is the good volume for you. And then when you are ready, finding your comfortable spot, maybe laying down, maybe seated, but propped up with a pillow. Just getting adjusted. I always like to have a blanket. And then if I get warm, I'll just take it off. But often I'm pretty chilly. So really, really good. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you begin to settle into your space, settling into this present moment. And then taking a moment to imagine sending a grounding cord down from the base of your spine. So imagining this cord is dropping through the floor, all the way into the earth below, branching off in all directions, just like the root of a tree. And from this place, you are fully held, fully supported by the earth. And then taking a moment to call in any of your spiritual guides, your higher self, the universe. Really feeling supported, loved, and blessed from above. Here in this present moment, you are safe, safe to feel, safe to be, safe to go inward. And then when you're ready, starting with that circular breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. We're going to breathe to the count of 6. So breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in through the nose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out through the mouth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, and then finding that rhythm in through the nose, out through the mouth that feels good. What feels good? Is it a longer, slower? Is it a shorter, faster breath? Really trusting whatever it is your body needs. Remembering that you can bring in movements with the breath, sounds on the exhale. You're using this rhythmic breath to connect with the present moment, to feel every sensation in the body. You're breathing in more nourishing oxygen. That oxygen gets to every cell of your body, and you release toxins through the exhale. Expanding, filling up on the in-breath, easeful exhale, letting it all go. Yeah, really, really beautiful breath. You might start to feel some tingling, some even lightheadedness, and just reminding yourself it's safe to feel those sensations. I like to think of my body celebrating, or my cells celebrating their aliveness when I start to tingle and vibrate. It's like you're breathing in oxygen, but you're also breathing in life force energy. This energy that animates your being, this energy that is loving and compassionate, that knows where you have stuckness, where you have blocks, how to bring in more of your true self into those places. Yeah, really, really beautiful rhythm, staying with that in through the nose, out through the mouth. Working to have the same length inhale as exhale. Letting the in-breath move right into the exhale right into the in-breath. And beginning to connect and feel what feels good in your body right now. It is your birthright to feel good in your body. You might have a little discomfort or areas of low or no sensation. And for now, just letting those places be and find what feels good. It might be really subtle. You might not even have any places inside, but maybe there's some space around your body that feels good. Bringing awareness to these sensations, I really believe that what feels good in the body is our true self. It's who we truly are. It's that inner child energy of love and expansion and authenticity and just really joyful expression, all of that. So just noticing what feels good now. This is a good song with a beat that you could breathe to. So kind of getting into the rhythm of this beat with the same length inhale as exhale. Really, really beautiful. Now staying with that rhythmic breath. Now imagine calling in your child self. Calling in this energy that is younger than 10 years old. So seeing what child self of yours wants to come forward. What age? Maybe you get a vision of them. Maybe you can feel her as a sensation inside the body, maybe outside the body. Maybe you get a sense of her in space around you, maybe across the room or really right next to you. There's no wrong way. Just see how your inner child wants to present herself. And sometimes visualization or doing some of these sort of felt sense can be difficult. If that's the case, it's okay. It's totally normal. You can maybe even imagine a photo that you have of yourself at a young age. Or maybe remembering a toy that you loved as a child. These can be ways that we connect and call in our younger parts. And as your inner child gradually comes into your awareness, you might notice what this child is doing, what they are wearing, the expression on their face. And without judgment, there's no right or wrong to this. Simply explore this inner child of yours. Remembering that this is a part of you, it's not all of you, and that sometimes this child wants to merge with you to feel safe. Staying with that rhythmic breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Filling up, expanding, surrendering on the exhale. And then letting her know, letting this little precious child know that it's safe to be seen, that you truly want to connect with her. You really want to know her, that you have nothing but love for this little child. And letting her know that you have some questions for her and that she doesn't have to make anything up. It doesn't have to make sense what she shares. She doesn't even have to answer if she doesn't want to. And inviting her closer if that feels right. Maybe she decides to stand across the room, maybe next to you. Maybe she wants to sit in your lap, hold your hand. Whatever she wants to do is totally fine. And then asking your inner child, asking her, what makes you sad, little one? Remembering it doesn't have to make sense. She doesn't even have to share if she doesn't want to, but just seeing what comes to mind. It might be just a thought or an inner knowing of what makes you sad, little one. And then from your wise adult self of today, reflect back. Oh, I can see those things make you sad. Really offering her compassion, understanding, maybe giving her a squeeze or a pat on the back. Letting her know you understand those things that make her sad. Staying with that rhythmic breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now asking, what makes you happy, little one? What makes you happy, little one? And reflecting back from your wise adult self. Oh, thank you for sharing. I can see why those things make you happy. I understand. And now asking, what do you feel right now, little one? Reminding her that she doesn't have to make anything up. What is she feeling right now? And then reflecting back from your wise adult self, I can see you're feeling that right now. letting her know that you are here for all the emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, joy, silliness, blah, that all the emotions are acceptable, they're okay, they're understandable. It's okay for this little one to feel whatever they are feeling. And then asking, what do you need, little one? What is it that you need? Seeing what kind of messages she might have. It doesn't have to make sense. Reflecting back from your wise adult. Oh, I can see that you need those things. Of course you need those things. It's okay to have needs. And asking, is there anything else you want me to know? Asking her if there's anything else she wants to share. And then from your wise adult, once again, reflecting back, I hear you. I see you. I love you. If it feels okay, you could share a little more. You are so important to me. I'm here for you now and always. You don't have to worry about what others think. It doesn't matter what anyone else says or does, because I love you and you matter to me. You never have to be alone or afraid again. And checking in with this little one, how does it feel for her to hear that? How does she respond to hearing those words? Hearing that you love her, you are there for her, no matter what. She doesn't have to believe you. Sometimes when we're first connecting with these parts of us, we just haven't built that relationship, and it takes time and consistency. So whatever she is feeling, it's okay. And then taking a moment to tell her all the things you love about her, bringing to mind what you were like at that age. Maybe it's her loving heart, her smiling face, her creativity, playfulness, her love of nature or of art, her kindness, her strength, her sassiness. Take a moment to tell her what you love about her. And let her know what qualities of hers you would like her to bring more of into your life. Maybe giving her 1 to 3 qualities that you would like her to bring more of. And is there any small promise you would like to make to her? Anything that would make her feel safe enough to bring out those qualities more? Maybe that tiny promise could be reading a fun book, taking a bath, dancing in the kitchen with loved ones, or telling her once a day that you love her. Just see if it makes sense to make her a tiny promise. Seeing if there's anything that she wants to do with you right now. Maybe in your mind's eye, seeing her dancing, singing, playing, being in nature. You are creating a loving connection with your inner child, building a strong bond so she can feel safe. And from that place of safety, she can bring more joy, confidence, authentic self expression, or any of those other qualities she has to offer. Telling her there are so many things you love about her. She's so sweet, so precious, that you are here for her, you love her forever, and she never has to feel alone again. Staying with that rhythmic breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, really expanding on the in breath, letting it all go with the exhale. Really, really beautiful. And then thanking this precious little child for being open to connect with you right now. Even if she's been a little elusive, letting her know she will always be with you. Imagine you could make her so small that she could fit in the palms of your hands and that you could put her in your heart space for safekeeping. Letting her know she's safe to play, to run around, to do all the things she loves to do. And that you hope she brings more of those qualities to your life today. And now taking a moment to reflect what that was like, what stood out, what felt important. What were you like as a child? And what are those qualities your inner child can bring to your life now? And knowing that you can connect with this part of you anytime when you're feeling really emotional, really lonely, really stuck or frustrated, you can connect with this part of you, letting her know she's safe, hearing how she feels, giving her the attention maybe she never had when she was growing up, being that parent for her and fulfilling the needs that she had that weren't fulfilled. You can do that for her now today. So when you're ready, allowing the breath to return to a normal pace, maybe taking a deep breath or a deep stretch as you bring some movement to the body. Noticing how you feel now compared to when you began. Maybe opening your eyes, looking around the space, taking some mental notes of what it is that you want to remember from this breathwork journey. What's your takeaway from this experience? What feels most important? If you feel ready, you can sit up or you can stay reclined, whatever feels most comfortable. And then pausing the music, it might automatically play. So just pausing the music. It can be helpful to drink lots of water. Breath work is a great detox physically, so drinking water can help flush those toxins out. If you feel like a little ungrounded, taking a bath or going for a walk can help you ground. People often feel really hungry after breath work, so having a nice meal can also be really grounding.